Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. Welcome to FPL Don't Panic. Very, very quick one this morning, just to go through the updated draft. I am very, very close to making decisions now. First, little housekeeping. You will see on my screen there the league code BH5N7F. Yeah, love to have you on board with the league. The little image that you see above it there, hopefully a few of you that are like me, a child of the 80s, will recognise where that comes from. But as a prize for the league winner, I didn't say it was going to be a great prize, did I? I didn't say it was going to be a great prize. But yeah, I'm going to get some T-shirts made up, and I'll give those out across the season for various things. And the first one up is the competition for best team name. I came up with a beauty this morning, but I can't really enter myself, and I have decided to go out as FPL Don't Panic this year. But Bergstrom Solanke, it's really tall. Bergstrom Solanke. Creative moment. But yeah, get yourselves in the league if you fancy winning a T-shirt. Come up with a nice creative team name, and I will judge on deadline day who the winner is, and we'll also have a T-shirt for the winner. So that's just a mock-up design at the moment. We're playing around with a few, but I was a big fan of Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, and Marvin the Paranoid Android, which I think fits in with the way that AI is coming into the game now. So it is what it is, guys. It is what it is. Anyway, and the T-shirts will be cheap to post anywhere in the world, as I am likely to be back in New Zealand in a few months. Right, so that's that. That was a little bit of housekeeping. My draft. All right, don't shoot me, guys. There are changes here. I have decided 99% now. 99% I'm going no Salah Haaland. I'm just going to run through the draft quickly, and I'm going to be back sometime next week with the old spreadsheet number cruncher, and I'll show you why it works and with the way the rotations really work. I'll talk a little bit to it now. So first thing up, you'll see that bench. Please ignore that bench, and there is one or two changes will still happen in this team. I will get to them. Right, first up, Gomez Sanchez. As I've mentioned often, I want to try and get a 4-point average out of my goalkeeper. I'm not averse to goalkeeper transfers, but Sanchez was only just under the 4-point average last year. So he could be a set and forget, or I just take these favourable fixtures that Chelsea have got in the first 5 or 6, bring him in, and then transfer out and bring in someone else, another keeper with a favourable run of fixtures. And hopefully, but if Sanchez is going well, if Chelsea are going well, and I could well see Sanchez hitting well over that 4-point average in those first 5 or 6 fixtures. So we'll see how that goes. Right, this is a real change for me. I know I've got Gvardiol, Gabriel, and Virgil. I think just initially I'm going to go the safe path. And here is why. I really like Frimpong. I want to bring Frimpong in, but just feels like there could be a little bit of risk there with Bradley. Bradley's been playing pretty well pre-season. There will be some minutes with some risk with Frimpong, I think, until he's sort of settled in. Need to see how it settles in. I need 11 pretty safe starters, particularly as my bench will be light. I need 11 safe starters for those opening fixtures. So going to go with Virgil, because the fact is Virgil, with the new bonus point system that had been in last year, Virgil would have been the leading defender in the whole of the Premier League. He actually averaged 4 points per game last year. That would have been quite a bit higher. And the other thing is to say, I like to average 5 points per defender. Virgil would have comfortably achieved that based on last year, and I'd be happy with that. Nice, who wouldn't? If you get 5 or 6 points out of a defender in most matches at that sort of price, you'd take that anywhere else on the pitch, wouldn't you? So yeah, that looks pretty solid, I think, for Virgil at the moment. And then we can see how the more offensive defenders are doing. And as you know, I work my averages and see if there is actually a better way of doing it. But as a safe bet, I think I'm going to go with Virgil, as much as I really, really want to bring Frimpong in. Similarly with Gabriel, he averaged 4.18 last year. The season before, he actually did have an average of 5. I'm hopeful he'll get a few more attacking returns this time around now, because obviously once Saka went out of the team with his injury, Gabriel wasn't getting that service for him to get on a few headers or whatever, so he didn't really have the amount of attacking returns last year. And of course, he had his own injury, I think, at one point, didn't he? But yeah, pretty confident in those first two fixtures certainly. And I'm going to talk in a second about something. Yeah, I think the Man United away fixture is a good one. Did you see United's friendly against West Ham? United offensively actually looks a lot better, but at that back, I tell you what, we're going to be coming up against either Onana or Bayindir in goals if we don't get a keeper. Saka and Gabriel could easily get an attacking return against that defence and that keeper easily. Now, similarly with Gvardiol averaged about 4.5 last year. He would have easily hit my 5 with attacking returns. And I say, I know people are looking at these lower costs, and we're not going to know. We're not going to know for sure until the season starts. These lower cost 4.5s, and they think, oh yeah, they're going to get loads of tackles in and clearances and whatever. Yeah, they are. But if they've conceded 3 goals, they're starting from pretty low base. I mean, if that defender is only going to score, 80, 90 or 100 points for the season, and yeah, they do get maybe 20, 30 bonus points, fine, 130. But if Gabriel, and Virgil are almost set and forgets for this season, they're going to get 160, 170. That's what I want. That's what I want, anyways. As I say, it's to play your own game, have fun, play your own game. But I think as a set out for the first 2 games of the season, I think that is a really, really solid defence, and I'm reasonably confident it'll hit the averages that I'm looking for. As I say, that 4 out of the keeper and the 5 out of the defenders, and I'm hopefully actually could do quite a bit better than that. Midfield is more challenging, I think. I don't know, obviously, what Wirtz is likely to get. I think I'm still locked in him. Liverpool didn't look so great in their friendly, did they? But also that was, slightly, he was just messing around. What the hell was that team he put out in the second half? It, yeah, had Frimpong and Bradley on at the same time. I mean, it was, yeah, I think he's all about fitness. As Alan rightly says, I think they're doing their, Alan York, one of our subscribers, rightly says, I think they're doing their real work behind closed doors. He's keeping his cards close to his chest, I think. So no idea what Wirtz is likely to get, but I still do think this guy's going to go so well. So he is still a lock-in for me. Palmer averaged 6 last year, and you think about it, he had an average of 6, and he did nothing in the second half of the season, and he's starting to look sharper. So as I say, in my midfielders, I like to see that average of 6. And I think with the fixtures that Chelsea have got to be pretty confident Palmer's going to achieve that. Rodri, yeah, I don't think he's too much of a wild card. As I said in a couple of videos previously, Rodri was on an average of 5 the season before he got injured. Now, which is obviously below the average I'm looking for, but I think with his defensive contributions and at that price, I think he could get nicely over that 6 points. And even if he does just regularly get the 5 at that price, it's an enabler for other things I want to do. But yeah, Rodri, yeah, I've got a good feeling about. And as I say, he'll be one of the few that you'd be pretty confident is a lock-in that City side. Then we have Rodgers. Rodgers only had an average of 4.35. 0.35, and as I say, so it's a fair way off that 6. But I think again with some of those Villa fixtures, because as I say, what we're trying to do, some players, it's very hard to achieve these averages across a whole season, but you hope you get the players on a hot streak, good fixtures, and then when those averages start to drop a bit, then you move them out and bring someone in that looks as though they will hit those averages. So I think with those fixtures for Villa, Rodgers, a year older, a year wiser, I'd be hopeful that we could at least get that 6 points out of him, maybe more given the fixtures. But at the moment, yeah, it's I think he should certainly achieve a 5, shouldn't he? And then we've got Saka, steady Eddie. As I've often said, Saka is not a regular big hauler. He is your steady Eddie, and he'll average 7 across the season. Now, he had his injury, and he didn't really come back and fire, but he did actually average 6 for the per 90 for what he did last year. But bearing in mind when he came back, he had the injury, and he was actually quite unlucky not to get a few hauls when he came back from that injury. So Saka will just hit a 7-point average. I guarantee it. And if we get lucky, maybe we'll get something out of him. And in those first 2 fixtures, United, I think it's Burnley. Yeah, got to be hopeful that there's some really, really good points there. So pretty happy with that, and I'm pretty happy having a triple Arsenal for that second match, because that could go large. And honestly, to be honest with you, we don't know what United were going to get. They could go large in that first game as well. Then up front now, there's going to be changes up front, and this is why I haven't pumped this into the spreadsheet yet and put in my projections and point predictions, etc., and compared it to Salah drafts, etc. I have done a bit of that, by the way, and I'll talk to it in a minute. I've got Solanke and Isak at the moment. Now Solanke only averaged just under 5 for per 90 last year. I do expect that to go up, and Spurs do have some good fixtures. So at the moment, I think on fixture based, I'm almost locked in on Solanke. Isak is not a lock-in. Now Isak did average just under 7, and I do want that 7 average out of my strikers. He just the fixture difficulty, but I would like to bring in Gyökeres. So that would be the Arsenal treble up for those first 2 fixtures. I would like to bring in Gyökeres. And what I'm waiting for is the price, because Isak out, Gyökeres in should, I believe, I don't think it's going to save a lot, but should bring me back a little bit of money, because this is bang on my 100, the 100 million at the moment. Because as you can see, that bench is it is non-existent unless Kinski does end up playing, which there is a slight chance that he could be a playing keeper. I certainly need someone stronger first off the bench. Heaven looks like he will get minutes for United. He played very, very well yesterday against West Ham, won the penalty as well. Although what the hell Areola was doing, I don't know. I don't think Areola even knows. He needs to sort that bloody haircut out. Can't look at that every weekend on television. So I need a stronger first off the bench, just in case there's any unexpected rotations or people just don't play that I was expecting to play. So it would be Isak out and Gyökeres in at this stage. So that's kind of where I'm at. I'm just waiting, obviously, for the official announcements on Gyökeres and for him to be put in, so I can actually put him into the team, see what money I've got, see where the bench stands, and see where we'll go from there. I'd also say at this stage, this team looks absolutely brilliant, 1 to 5, except for game week 3, and I will go through those rotations when I put it in the spreadsheet. But it looks really, really strong, 1 to 5. Yes, no Salah, but my projections that I've done so far, and I have actually, because I used to work for an analyst firm for 15 years, and I wasn't an analyst, but I've worked with analysts all the time, so I know the methodology. So I've done my own projections based on, past, what the present is like, and future projections. And I've cross-tested that data against other things like FPL Hub and a few things. Well, what does that say it's going to do? And it's all coming out. Their projections are pretty much the same as mine, that it should be sort of hitting 60 points. That's about the same as any Salah draft I put together. It is about the same as any Salah draft I put together and put into FPL Hub just to see how it stacks up. And of course, their numbers for a Salah draft are taken into account Salah's big hauls last year. So this to me is my mantra, that some of the parts will hopefully be bigger than the individual. Because if Salah doesn't start scoring, is this team, if Salah doesn't get those 7, 8, 9, 10 hauls with the captain's armband on him, are your Ndai's, etc., that you have to bring in, are they going to match it? There's obviously a gamble with this. Going this path without Salah, it's going to be bloody, bloody scary. Very, very scary indeed. And Haaland as well, of course. But I'm seeing a little movement now towards this, the no Salah draft. I'm seeing a little, there's a couple of lads that really, really worthwhile having a look at. FPLD Unit does a really good show, and I've noted that he is going this path. Very different methodology and different players in terms of chip strategies and things like that, but absolutely going this path. and one or two others that are starting to talk about it as well that look very, very set on going with Salah. So anyway, have a look, see at those as well, see what you think yourselves. Back to the point though, I am probably going to free hit in three. We have these extra chips. Game week 3 is the game week where this team looks atrocious because I've got so many people playing each other. So for me, I'm likely to free hit in 3, and there are some juicy fixtures in there. There's some juicy fixtures to target for a free hit in 3. We'll obviously talk more about that nearer the time. This is the team for now. I'd say quite a few of these are locked in. We'll just get Isak out, Gyökeres in. I'll do further projections, get it in the spreadsheet, look at some of those rotations, etc., etc. And that's probably going to be the next video, sometime Tuesday or Wednesday next week once Gyökeres is fully locked in. In the meantime, folks, let me know what you think in the comments. Have fun, play your own game, don't panic. I will see you all soon.